Hi, Andrew.
You there?
Hey guys, I can see Andrew's iPad and I can see Raymond, but I don't see any pictures.
Yeah, I don't see any picture either.
Okay, got you right.
Do you have my audio?
And I got your audio right. You're muted, are you?
Pardon?
Hi, Ray.
Hi. Hear me?
That's good.
Okay, good.
I'm not hearing. I'm not hearing you, Ray.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can. That's good. Yeah. You look like you're wrapped up for some freezing weather.
No, it's actually quite warm down here. I didn't take this off from this morning.
Yeah. Good. Okay, and I see Andrew's iPad is there as well, but I don't know where he is.
Hey, Robin,
Yeah, is that Jim?
this is Jim Treadle. Yes, Robin. I couldn't get online, so I'm calling you from my automobile.
Wow. Well, why? Have
Which
you
is
a problem in the house?
Which is parked in front of my house.
No, have you got a problem getting online?
I couldn't figure it out. I got error code twice.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hi, Andy. How are you doing?
How you doing?
Okay. We've all got the agenda, and there's 4 of us here, which I guess gives us a quorum out of 6 directors. So there are a bunch of things that we need to go through. Obviously, we have the agenda. So I've posted up the attendance in the meeting today and also in the board meeting. I think it was about 88%. And we had 2 people not reporting, one of whom was Vera, and there was somebody else, I can't remember who it was now. However, during the month, earlier this month, I wrote to Vera and Kathy King, giving them a gentle reminder that their dues were overdue, and pointing out that the club was on the hook for Rotary International and district dues for everybody on our books at the end of December. I haven't had a response to that yet. And I also had a letter from Diane McCormack, which I shared with Andy, saying she came to us from the Eat Club up in Northeast Florida. That's the one that Sandra Hartley had, where they have to live within a certain number of counties to be members, and this lady moved to Orlando. She has said that she's having a problem with family and pressure and all the rest of it, and she can't stay a member. And of course, this has come also at the end of the year, and I'm going to have to write back to her to advise her that she is liable for RI and district dues as well, about 80 or 90 bucks. So she's really going to have to pay the first quarter's dues.
Quarter.
That's the situation with attendance and resignations. Vera Core, I'm concerned about. She was pretty active during the year, but has kind of tailed off and has not responded. So I'll follow it and see where we go. Ray, do you want to talk briefly to the Treasurer's report, which I hope each of you have had a look at?
Sure. Yeah, as of today, Robin, we have almost 6,500 in the charity account. We have a little over 7,000 in the operating for a total of 13,494.72. To date, and by the way, that includes payment of both the RI dues and the district dues. Although I have to tell you, I just received a letter from the district treasurer saying I shorted him $50, which I did. Okay.
But
I need to send him another check for $50.
Is the 15,000 after paying the dues, or do the dues come out of that?
Yeah, that's it. It's the 13,000. We're in the bank right now. We have 13,000.
Yeah.
Almost 13,500, but I have to write a check for 50 because I shorted the district. But we still have almost 13,500.
Okay. And
Okay.
does that include the 1,800 that we're holding to present?
No, that includes the 1,800, which we have not expended yet.
Yeah. Okay. So we're in pretty good shape. That's good.
Yeah. So even with the 1,800, we're still roughly 1,400 in the positive so far this year in income over expenses.
Good. 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 Okay. Any questions, guys? Andy?
No, sir.
Yeah. You have a question, Jim?
No, sir. No, Robin. Can you hear me, Robin?
Yeah, that Jim?
Yes, that's me, Robin. I said I did not have any questions.
Okay, cool. Andy? Yeah.
I'm here. No questions.
Yeah, Andy, probably after the February gathering, we're going to have to start working on a budget for next year.
Okay.
And if we don't have anyone to come in as treasurer, which we'll get down to in a few minutes, then I'll probably be doing the treasurer slot and work with you on it.
Yeah, let me just interject, Andy. Robin and I've had this conversation before. I've told him I think it's really unfair to him to take on the treasurer's job after having been president now for 2+ years.
We'll see how it goes. I appreciate the sentiment, Ray. I prefer to sit back and just float, but that's okay. On the foundation, two things, Jim. I was having a hard time finding my Paul Harris Society contribution confirmation, and I got onto RI today actually, and I got a copy of the certificate for tax purposes, and then I was looking for my PIN, the updated PIN, which I hadn't got either, and they told me that had been sent to Julia, our secretary, but she hadn't said anything to me, so I emailed her and asked her to send the PIN up to me, and she said, oh, they were holding it for the gathering in February, so that's okay. So everything worked out with RI, but I tried to get online again. I got somewhere, but not all what I wanted. But eventually, after I talked with the guy at RI, I'm okay. Have you anything specific on the foundation, Jim, as for this?
I did a quick review today, Robin. We have, I had a count of 30 members that were reported out on the report. 10 of the members of the club have made a contribution in this RI 2016-17 year. An additional 10 had made a donation in 15-16. We have 4 that haven't made a donation in over 2.5 years, and we have 6 net members that have never made a donation, which concerns me a bit. Of those 6 that have never made a donation, 2 of them have been a member of our club for over 2 years. One of them for a year and a half. One of them fairly new. The one that's a year and a half I just mentioned is a Paul Harris Fellow. The one that's been with us for about just short of a year is also a Paul Harris Fellow, but was made a Paul Harris Fellow in October 2014 with 1,000 points. I'd almost guess that person was made a Paul Harris Fellow. We have a member that joined 7/1 of 15, so that'd be a year and a half ago, hasn't made a donation, and we have a fairly new person.
Okay.
So we got a couple of people that haven't been taught yet that you make donations. Other than that, this is not a bad report.
Yeah. What I think we're going to have to do there is, Jim, I'd say you're going to have to approach each of them or draft up an email.
Yeah, I think that it's going to have to be the 10 people that have all made a donation this year. That's done. The 10 that donated last year, all I think I need to do is say, by the way, thank you for your donation last Rotary year 15-16. We're halfway into 16-17. Have you considered making a donation? And then the other 10, the other 10, I'm going to have to figure out the wording on.
Yeah, I would be inclined to, we strongly request that people make their $100 a year donation.
Yeah.
And
yes.
While it's got to be voluntary, we got to kind of make it that it is strongly requested of members.
I'll work on some working on that, Rob, and get something out.
Yeah, we haven't put it into our dues because it's supposed to be a voluntary deal. But maybe
No, you can't put it into dues.
If we could get Club Express to at least send an invoice out, or seeing as all our finances are on Club Express, we should try to see if they would send an invoice out on a quarterly basis, each member, that we would indicate, because some people they pay when they pay.
Yeah, Robin, the problem with an invoice is that it makes it mandatory, and it's really not mandatory. I think the system we have has worked pretty good, and I would agree with Jim. I think a personal email from him to the 10 who have not contributed this year might work better. I'd hate to go to the invoice system. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know, I know I sent 30-odd Christmas cards to members of the E-Club. Did you guys get Christmas cards from me?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm not disinclined to send personal letters. I prefer a letter in the mailbox to an email, so I may actually send letters and say, by the way, how about getting on board? Maybe some instructions on how to log into Rotary org and get on. They may not know how.
Well, either way, whichever you prefer, but if you're sending mail, keep track of your postage, because we don't want you to be out of pocket.
Right. Robin, someday I'll tell you about the $3,000 worth of stamps I have. Don't worry about my postage.
Robin, he's not exaggerating. I was at the post office today and learned that the rates have gone up again as of Monday. And I asked the agent, I said, I thought you just decreased the rate. He said, well, we decreased the rate because we shouldn't have raised the rate, but now we're raising the rate.
Wow.
So,
well,
yeah.
Robin, you will be getting a packet in the mail probably tomorrow.
Okay.
They cost $1.78 to send. I sent 50 of them out to each club president I don't worry about $100 for the postage.
All right.
I'll, if I send a letter, don't worry about it. I'll pick the postage up.
Okay, so that's you'll make contact with the recalcitrant, and you're just dealing with the year. You could point out that they haven't paid in prior years, but that you really want them to come up to snuff this year.
Yeah, I can work something up.
Okay, cool. Youth services, well, Susan is still in Germany, so obviously she couldn't be with us, probably 1 or 2 in the morning over there. Okay, the other day I was talking with Jim Tremmell online, and he came up with a very good idea. We were talking about engagement and, you know, the same faces showing up all the time. And Jim suggested that we look at the attendance reporting and see who is making up at regular clubs, because they show the name of the club, and I can see it in the individual reports. I can go into it and see it. I haven't had time to do that yet, but then he said we should email those people and say, hey, we noticed you're making up at XYZ club. We'd love to hear about your experience. And even if you have a picture, and could you have done a banner exchange? Do you need banners? Try to motivate people to give us some details of their makeups, like I do.
Good idea. Yeah.
And I'm kind of embarrassed to be doing it because I'm one of the only few that do it, and I don't want my face all over there. But we need to encourage people to, and this is a good way that Jim came up.
That's good idea. Good idea.
What do you think, Andy?
I think that's a good idea. By the way, I left a message for Jim.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Okay.
hopefully, and I emailed Deanne.
Yeah, over the next week or so, I'll get with you, Andy, and we'll look at it, and I'll get you access to that piece of the attendance reporting. Like, you should be able to see it.
Okay.
But I just want to make sure that you can walk around it. So we'll do that maybe sometime during next week, if that'll be okay. We'll set up a time.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, I left a message for him, so I will ask him. Robin suggested I ask him maybe for next year about the possibility of PE. So I asked him to call me, and wanted to introduce myself, and I'll see what he has to say. As you probably saw, also I put that little piece in your response, asking people to call me and, you know,
Yeah.
introduce myself, and, you know, I took from your lead and said we need help. I haven't heard from anybody. I mean, zero, zilch, nada. I was expecting, you know, only people I hear from are maybe you guys and David Kroner. So I was a little disappointed, but maybe not too disappointed, because I know that's kind of what we're dealing with.
Yeah, okay. Well, that brings us to the next piece then, the team for 2017. Jim, one of the things, and I don't know, is it asking you to bring coals to Newcastle or whatever, but a webmaster and Facebook page and all the rest of it is something that, with Peter gone, we're really going to be floundering. Is that something you could pick up?
Are you speaking to me, Robin?
Sorry?
Robin, this is Jim. Was that question for me?
Yeah.
I don't do Facebook.
You don't do Facebook. Okay.
Period.
What about our website, which is?
I not only don't do it, I don't like it. So I would not be a good choice there.
Okay. Anyway, I'm casting out in kind of all directions to see who we can get, because our Facebook, our web page is languishing. It needs kind of a tune-up and all that kind of thing. And beats the hell out of me how to do that. So Andy, do you have any ideas on that?
Just as I call people, I'll ask them how they are with webmastering and things like that. Maybe we can find somebody
Yeah.
in our travels, or maybe a new member, or later on I might be able to ask my wife. She's opening up a business. She's not free, but she's pretty good at that kind of stuff. But right now she's not available.
We don't want a divorce in the club.
No. I don't have, Robin, I don't know if you have, I know you have grandkids, but if you have any extra space, I do go to that, I know you're not that far away. So maybe a nice little garage.
Okay. So apart from that, that's the technical one, which is difficult. Treasury is also not a piece of cake, because you got to get familiar with the software, with Express software and with the DACTB software. And 3 or 4 years ago, I was treasurer, and Susan had a bee in her bonnet about automating the thing. And I said, I'll do a spreadsheet. I'm not going to learn at this hour of my life new software and all the rest of it. And I resigned. I quit. Well, I quit for another reason, but I just wasn't going to do it. And it's asking a lot of people to deal with this, and especially when they're on their own, they have to flounder their way through it. Okay, we have the phone and we have this, where we can get back in touch with Ray, and the software providers have helped. But it takes a certain level of individual to persevere, as Ray has done, and got us to where we are with it. So, have you made any phone calls with people, by the way?
Yeah, I've made a few more, but no, nothing. Just to introduce myself, but nobody is willing to commit to anything that I've talked to So I'm just kind of trying to find, some of the people, anybody who might be able to commit to. I'm also asking people to come to meetings and all that. Again, as I told you, people are not even really reaching out, and I gave them my email, my phone number, my cell number, and a couple people I have messages for. So, they're worse than some of my students at school. At least my students kind of get back to me, but maybe that's for a grade assistant. But it's just kind of difficult in on-ground Rotary. You can kind of walk somebody to their car and talk to them in private about something, but here it's very difficult online or by phone or email to reach some people, especially if they're busy and all that, or if they're in different time zones or around the world. So I keep on, once I get through my list, I'm going to kind of go over it again.
Okay, I just, I'm looking at where else we go. We're a small group. In discussions with Ray during the week, I said, Ray, okay, you're stepping down as treasurer, but maybe you're not going to do nothing. What else would you like to pick up that would be less onerous than treasury, but at the same time help us out? So I've asked Ray to consider helping in some area, whether it would be membership, vocational service, chair, those kind of things. We have a whole bunch of stuff that we're not doing because we don't have the manpower to do it. Maybe we should talk with Karen a little bit, and maybe at the Tampa gathering we might have Mike Chapman that we could pull him to one side, or maybe you could talk with him. I can.
Well, I'll see him at. I'll see everybody at Pets.
Yeah.
Which is in a month.
But we have to keep it up in front of us now, because we've only got 5 months to go.
Right.
And we don't want you to be floundering under a huge load with inadequate support. Somehow we've got to pull it together. Whether Rich Wingate would step up for something. I don't see him stepping up for treasurer, but he might step up for something else. Okay. That's all those things. The Tampa gathering is coming February 26th, is it? Yeah, Sunday, February 26th. So,
Robin, is that definite? Do we have they reserved the country club?
Lynn has reserved the country club, yeah. So she's working on that. There is no cost there, and people will order off the menu as they did last year, and it's reasonable. You can go to town on it if you want to, but we will get a copy of the menu to circulate, and we need to make up a little agenda for the meeting, a program. The district governor will come along, and will.
Has he finally agreed to come?
Well, he has agreed to come to do anything. He did want us to have a board meeting at it, but we're really an e-club, and all our directors may not be there. And I think the board meeting should be an online meeting, like this is, because that's the way we operate. And this is primarily a gathering for Tampa area members because there's a lot of them down there and it's useful to do it. But it does not mean that we have a board meeting there or an annual general meeting or an annual assembly there. Otherwise, I think we'd be losing a little bit of the e-club independence because we are a club. While we're registered in the district, our president one year was in Germany, and they haven't always had these gatherings in the Tampa area, I think. Anyway, that's that. So there'll be more details on that coming out probably over the next week or two. The proposed project that the club own and be involved in and have some feedback to members as suggested by Ray, and taking the form of a scholarship. I talked to Ray, and I think I mentioned some about this to Jim, and I talked to Andy about it. We have a relationship with the Rotary Club of Portsmouth in Dominica, relatively new club. And we helped them with their emergency room project. In fact, we were the international partner for that global grant deal. And the sum total was we raised $75,000 for their refurbishment of an emergency room. And then last year, I think we gave them $2,000, if not $3,000, Ray, contribution to hurricane relief down there.
Right, it was something, I don't recall the exact number, but it was something like that.
Yeah. So I contacted them then about a possibility of a scholarship for a student down there, and we got some prices which are reasonable by our standards, very reasonable. And then I heard that the other club in Dominica has done this type of thing, and I've asked them for information to see if we could use their method of operating the thing. And then last week I found that there's a club up here, Big Money Club, Rotary Club of Gulf Breeze, are doing scholarships themselves. And I've set up a meeting with the two guys that administer the process for next Monday. So I'll come back with a lot more on that. Now, Andy did say that he has connections in the Republic of
Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic.
The Dominican Republic, yeah. And I've worked down there before, and Hans actually lives there. But I think in this case, and Andy has pointed out the possible benefits because of some of his relatives being connected with the government and getting a letter maybe of commendation from the president down there on what we would do in the Dominican Republic. But I think we've kind of have a relationship with Dominica, and for this one, I would be inclined to go with Dominica, but when we put all the stuff on the table, we'll see what we're into in another few weeks. The intent is to try to get the scholarship program off the ground so we can deal with a student starting school, and they start in the island of Dominica in September, and I'm sure Dominican Republic is probably the same. So we have a little bit of leeway on that. What else? The convention. I'm going to go to the convention. Peter Vaca is going to the convention. I think Rich Wingate is going to the convention, and Liz.
David Croner.
What?
David Croner's going.
Sorry?
David Croner. David Croner? He's going.
Going. And I think Lynn is going. I'm not sure about Susan. She wasn't sure, but maybe the way is clear now with her family circumstances that she may go. And
Robin?
Yeah.
Karen and I will be there.
Good. Okay.
Karen and I will be there.
Great. So it looks like we could have a fairly good representation from the E-Club. We probably no harm to list again all the people that are attending, and the E-Club has set aside $1,000, and the distribution of that was to support people going to the convention. And there was a motion made earlier in the year that we divide it amongst all of the people going. So that if we have 4 going from the club, each would get $250. If we have 5 going, each would get $200. If we have 6 going, each would get $180. So the initial idea was to do 4 at $250, first come, first serve. But there was a balking at that because it didn't suit some people to pay at that time. So this is how we're going to handle it. I just want you to be aware of that, Jim. That's the convention. Dues and RI, RI and district increases. The dues are going to go up for RI. Ray, would you want to talk to this?
Yeah, I can speak to that. Right now, we pay $28 a member to RI, and we pay $25 a member to the district. The district recently, this past year, has gone up $3, and coming in July, RI will go up another $4. I've told Robin, I think we can absorb the increases without raising dues. But again, it's like everything else in the world. These organizations, need to raise some money, and it doesn't seem like a lot. $3 here, $4 there. But the district dues are fairly substantial compared to the RI dues. We're paying $25 a member now, and but I think we can absorb it with our current structure.
Okay, so the 28 that we're paying currently will become 32.
Right, it should go up to 32
And then the 25 will go up to 28.
No, it's already up. I think the president, there was a decision made, and I can't remember by whom, but maybe the president's to raise it this past year.
Okay. Oh, that's already there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. I'm inclined to agree with Ray. We don't want to be moving the dues up too high, but at the same time, we look at the budget when we're going through the numbers in a month or so and see what we got. That's it. That's that. Makeups are still happening, Ray, but I think at a slower pace in the club. That's the visiting Rotarians coming in and paying the $5. What do you think?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the first part.
Are the numbers dropping slightly?
I don't know. I honestly can't answer that. You look at the last statement I posted online on the web on the board meeting.
Yeah, yeah,
It'll show you how much income we received from
yeah.
guest membership. My sense is that maybe it's dropped a little bit, but not significantly.
Yeah.
And not, by the way, not everybody pays $5. Sometimes I get $1. Sometimes I get $4. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And we tend to have a lot of repeats.
Yeah.
In fact, there's one lady in I think she's in Columbus, Georgia. She might just as well join our club because she's. I think she's
often. Yeah.
on our site than at her own meeting.
I would like to talk to her about that, but that would.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Now, we have a resource that everybody that makes up on our e-club, we have their email address information.
Right.
And it might be worth coming up with some kind of a letter or an email asking them about their experience and try to engage them. I don't know how we do this. You have to be a marketing guy to deal with it. But I think
the amazing thing, Robin, is they find us. Okay, they find us somehow.
Yeah.
And not every e-club charges $5.
Or whether we could just put them on some kind of a periodic mailing list that we bounce off them every now and again with some kind of theme of the versatility of the e-club.
Yeah. But I mean, they do have to come onto the website to make up. So they see the face page and they see the weekly meetings.
Yeah. Okay, thinking out loud. Looking at membership, we have not had a new member come by for some time, for some couple of months now. I think Janice Klein was the last lady that came to us. We're putting the word out, but
well, I think, Robin, I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that we last year's district governor, sent us a number of people who joined, and that's not happening this year. Now, he was doing it, I think, in part because people were resigning from or were intending to resign from their own clubs, and as an alternative, he initiated a policy of trying to convince them to join an e-club.
Yep.
So and that hasn't happened this year. And you know, and to be honest with you, many people who are going to resign from their own traditional club, probably some of them have wound up resigning from this club, and that shouldn't be surprising.
Yeah. Plus, you have the loosening of the attendance standards and requirements by a lot of clubs now.
Yeah.
That's got to be having an effect. Although I had a letter from Andra Watkins today, an email copy, where she was talking to a guy she met at a Rotary meeting, and she obviously had been telling him about the E-Club. So she copied me saying she was delighted and here was the link and call me and whatever. So I've got to follow up on that to see what comes out of it. But at least she saw an opportunity, and that's good. Okay. We have one thing in there under old business, discussion on associate membership policy. And I think the thinking behind that was probably greenhorns coming into the club and the mentoring and hand-holding requirements that we would have. And we have decided that we are only going to accept Rotarians with Rotary experience already as members. So this thing is moot for now. So I'm going to propose that we review it again in the next Rotary year, but I don't foresee us doing anything about it in this Rotary year. Could I have a motion on that? Or
I move.
Pardon?
Second.
Yeah, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thanks, Joe.
Aye.
Okay. That's a bit of housekeeping. What else is there? Anybody, any other business?
Robin, I had a thought just to bring it by you and maybe talk to the board. Something when we were talking, something came to mind. As you know, I teach at a university in Boca Raton, and one of the professors in the College of Communications does a lot of stuff with the web. I think he's been a webmaster. I could propose to him if, maybe even not, maybe in lieu of being a member, could he be sort of, you mentioned associate member, but could we, if he's interested, maybe even taking it on as an assignment or whatever, maybe he could be some kind of webmaster. I would love for him to be a Rotarian. Maybe the school would pay for it. Obviously, he could be, he's very astute, very smart, but I would have to talk to him. But he could do this in a minute. Plus, he could put in all kinds of stuff that would attract so many people. I mean, he could have flash stuff and this and that. Because I've talked to him about some projects that I wanted to do with him. But I wanted to throw it out to you. Very smart guy. He's probably in his late 30s, early 40s. Very astute. I haven't even mentioned anything about Rotary, but he could be, sort of the next generation. Could be very, very interested. I just don't know how to, approach him. So I wanted to talk to you guys about, can we, maybe get him on board. We talked about, just talked about associate membership, or maybe if the club wanted to, do something for him. He could be really great. He, as I said, he's a great professor. I have not mentioned to him. I just wanted to get your feeling, because he could carry our web, and he could literally make it unlike anything we've seen. I've seen his work. It's incredible. So I just wanted to throw it out to you. I mean, he's a professional. So, before I talk to him or mention anything, I just wanted to get your feeling.
Yeah, it's certainly worth exploring. We'd have to figure out how we bring him on board. Ray?
Robin, what about What about an honorary membership?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't be, that would be fine. That would be fine. Now, the only thing is, we'd have to be, we can't have the guy go off half-cocked. Before I was heavily involved in the club, Susan had some guy as a webmaster that I believe caused a lot of issues. Can you remember any of that, Ray?
No, I vaguely, I know she had a webmaster, and but I don't, that's all. I don't recall anything else.
Okay, so yeah, I would make the approach. I think, you know, if we got the right, if he's the guy, we could make. I think we could make him an honorary membership, like informally between us. What do you think, Jim?
Hello?
Hey, Jim. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes, I was thinking honorary membership from the beginning, and then Ray jumped on it, so I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I don't particularly like honorary memberships, but the whole idea is they recognize people who do service for Rotary, and if this guy will come on and be our webmaster, he's doing service for Rotary,
Yeah.
and you might get him in the back door.
Yeah.
The difference between being honorary and being a regular member, in my opinion, is $100 a quarter.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
He,
That's
probably, he could probably more than pay his way. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Andy.
I'll
and Andy,
yeah.
it'll look good on his curriculum vitae as one of your sales points.
I was just going to mention that. You read my mind, because you know we have to do these you know, our academic professional things every May, and you know this could be great for service outside the institution.
Right.
You know, I don't know. Again, he's not a professor I know that well, but I talked to him recently. He's a great guy, and he showed me some of his work, and it's really outstanding. I know he does stuff on the side, but I mean, I'm just thinking first, if he's interested, I'll let him go onto the site, look at it, and maybe just say, hey, what do you think? How would you change this? Are you interested? And go from there. Because if he could, you know, if he could do something, that would be awesome. And also, Robin, I know in my last district, do we have an award? Does the district give an award for the best, you know, web page or this or that for the?
I think they do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
this could.
Our side, and
Yeah.
we could tick the box on a whole number of issues if we had the right people behind us. Now,
Right.
Going back on talking to your guy, if that fails, like you've lit a light for me now with what Ray came up with there, I would approach some of the Roverack guys at the local community colleges here, who are bright in this area. And if your guy fails, we might get one of these guys. That would be
Okay.
a tool to search in as well.
That's a good
So
point.
do your work and see what you can get, and then we pick it up and go somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just reemphasize what Andy said. In the legal profession today, any attorney needs a good website, needs to be on social media. All of the marketing recommendations in the legal profession is you must have a website and it must be good. And so I can't agree more. I think it's really important.
Good.
Especially for us. I mean, we are the website. So
Right.
That's it. That's it.
we are the website. That's us.
Maybe he can grow some hair for me or something like that.
Okay. Hey, that's worth an honorary.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, guys?
No.
I think productive in the idea that Andy has produced, and that Jim Tremmell has produced on the trying to engage people a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it all revolves around our website and our Facebook page. Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
we are adjourned. Thanks.
Very
Okay.
good.
Good night.
Have
Good
a
night,
good
everybody. Robin, I'll talk to you next week.
Yeah. God bless. Good night. Thanks, Jim.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.